This is your dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. Starting from humble beginnings, Nick has been beating the markets for over 2 decades. He shares with you his take on the profitable trades that will have you moving towards financial freedom in no time at all. To see an in-depth review of his track record and much more, go to inthemoneystocks.com. Welcome. This is your daily dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. I'm Kerry Lutz. Today is March 16, 2021, and this is show number 225, and this is Options X week. Not only that, Nick, but quadruple witching hour, right?
We have 4 different asset classes expiring this week. This is what we call a quadruple witching, so it's always a week of some institutional game playing, and I think everybody should be aware of that. Remember, these institutions, they know where they need to move a stock by the end of the week in order to have the small retail options trader expire worthless. We see this game every single month, and more so, it's more pronounced during a quadruple witching options expiration.
Yeah, so we know that, and what's doing with the markets this morning, Nick?
Yeah, we have a little bit of a mixed tape today. You have the Dow down a little bit, just down 0.25%. The Russell, though, is down 1% today. So the IWM, or the Russell 2000, which represents small caps, that's down about 1%, but tech is up 1%. Go figure. And then you have the S&P 500 doing pretty well, just up 0.25%. So it's quiet. The one thing I will say is that the volume trends, the last yesterday, today, even late last week, we're definitely getting lighter, and we're definitely looking at much, much lighter volume trends. So that usually makes for a market that doesn't really fall much when you have light volume. Normally the market will be somewhat buoyant to even have some upside to it. But today we are definitely looking at a chopped salad out here in the stock market.
Hey, so if you remember when we last talked on Friday, I said, what do you think, Nick? Is the plunge protection team on their way here? And what happened on Friday, huh?
Yeah, it almost never fails. It's almost like it's become blatant now. They're not even disguising it, but we do see it, over and over again. And more so than that, Kerry, was last week. In fact, you had made that call. You said, oh, yeah, the markets are down, but, by the close, they'll probably be up with the PPT. And sure enough, the markets actually rallied sharply. So for some reason, they do not want to see a down Friday right now.
Yeah, they just don't, because it's kind of like, what it is in the good old days when we had servers on our computer systems. You never wanted to shut the server down, because when you turned it back on, you never knew for sure if it was going to reboot and start again. And it's kind of the same way in the market. They never want to end on a down Friday, because Monday could just be Armageddon.
Yeah, it looks like that is the case. And again, you have to chuckle, but eventually, if the markets have enough froth and you get these selling triggers to happen, they really can't stop it. So far, when you have light volume, markets easily influenced. Even yesterday afternoon, right into the closing bell, we saw a big buy program hit on peanut volume, but that's all it takes when you have no selling pressure out here. So again, when the volume comes back in, I think traders better brace themselves. The month of March is always a volatile month. So far, we've had a nice low put in on the 5th of March. And again, the month of March is not over. So be a little bit cautious after this Options X. And even during Options X, I think you got to be a bit cautious too, because you get all the institutional game playing. This is a very tricky week. It's filled with lots of rumors and ridiculous upgrades and downgrades. It's all sorts of manipulation going on out here this week.
Hey, so yesterday we should have mentioned was the Ides of March. And, that was the day that they basically assassinated Julius Caesar, and it's become a notorious day a couple thousand years later almost.
Yeah, everybody watches it.
Yeah, but March, beware of March, really needs to be the byword.
Yeah, you have to be careful in the month of March. You're going to notice if you ever go back and look at a chart, and you could look at it every year throughout history, you'll see that the month of March is very often one of the most volatile months, and then the month of October. And those are 2 important time periods that every trader needs to look at, and they both coincide very often with the equinoxes. So that's something else. We don't want to get delve in too deep here, but again, you got to watch for these potential turning points in the stock market that occur around this time period.
Hey, and we saw it bigly last year, that's for sure. That March crash, and then that immediate turnaround where everything went to the moon, and that's kind of what we're dealing with now. So, hey, let's look at precious metals. They're basically doing nothing again, but gold broke over 1,700. $26,100. Silver is dealing in that $26 range on the spot market. All about. What's your take?
Yeah. So today, gold futures are up about $5 right now, trading at around $17.34 an ounce. So that's not a bad day. Silver on the futures is down a touch, down about 18 cents. That's about a decline of 0.7%, still above $16, trading at $16.11. So I love gold right now. I think gold is a very, very good play. As you know, I'm in the GDX, which is the gold miners, and I'm up about 8% on that play already. So that has been a very, very good trade so far, and I think there's more to come. I don't see any problem here. And if the markets do go into a sell-off, gold could become vulnerable. But if the market looks at gold as a safe haven play, which I think could very well happen, and it becomes a fear trade, gold has a lot more upside from here.
All right. Well, that's what we're looking for, and it's taking it real nice and slowly, not attracting any attention. And when it makes its move, everyone's going to be shocked, right?
Yeah, and that's when everybody jumps on, when it makes its move. Right now, it's almost in stealth mode. If you take a look at the gold futures chart, I mean, we went down below 1,700 briefly, and everybody's just looking for it to tank further. But, again, this is where you get attracted to these things, and this is where I think you got to get in around that low 1,700 level.
All right, and you've been saying that, and you've been saying low 1700s almost since it's hit its high back in August when it was, 2059, I think it was?
Yep, that's right. When we went to the August top in early August, at that point in time, I knew that we went parabolic, and this is what it took to work that parabolic condition off. Now, this is where you have to own it, but most people don't want to do that at this point.
Yeah, well, that's the paradox of speculation, is when things are cheap and on sale, and nobody wants to know about it. That's why they're cheap and on sale. And then when they go up in value, that's when everybody hops in. And I guess that's the definition of a momentum player, right, Nick?
That's exactly the definition, and that's what we normally see. My work as a technician, I'm always looking for the bargains out here. I'm looking to buy things when they're on sale, and I still think gold's on sale at this level.
All right. Well, hey, that's what we want to hear. In any event, go over to inthemoneystocks.com. Take a look at Nick's extensive trading record. Take a look at the Twitter feeds at ITMS, at Nick Santiago01, at Kerry Lutz, and send us your emails to kl@kerrylutz.com. We got a couple of emails we're going to cover tomorrow, Nick, and we'll talk to you then.
Sounds good, Kerry. Thank you.
And so concludes another episode of Daily Market Wisdom with Master Trader Nick Santiago. Be sure to go to his website, inthemoneystocks.com. Don't forget the Twitter feeds at ITMS and at Nick Santiago01.